Hello everyone, welcome back to The Sea Will Claim Everything. Last time we went outside and we visited Port Darar. And this time I think we'll go to Alnian and Shadowy Glen. But first we have a quest to do. Let's see, what was it? We had to make something right? Ingredients for the soup of recovery, which I don't think we have. Make a potion of jellification. Looks like we don't have anything new for here, it's just the same things. Oh, I thought we had something to make. Oh, we had something to do here? Maybe not. Then I have a potion of awakeness. Alright, do I not have it anymore? It's still there. And this game is so loud and there's no settings to turn it down. Alright, well, whatever I was gonna do here, I forgot what it is, so we'll come back another time. Anyway, it's time to go to one of these new places. Let's try Shadowy Glen. There's probably ingredients around this river somewhere. This colorful stream flower has a very pleasant smell. Forest animals often eat these before going on a date. Colorful. This is not the American spelling. It's okay. Jonas Karatzis is not an American. It's a squawks. Squirrel fox. This purple mushroom is purple. Some say that clusters of mushrooms like this one are annoying children cursed by witches. The eggs of a lunatic loon. They're endemic to this area. That means that's like native, right? But they're like also there's a lot of them. I don't know. Just a couple of mushrooms watching the water flow. 3 inscrutable mushrooms. These flowers are enjoying the sun. The glen is home to many species of flower, including these. This mushroom thinks very highly of William Morris. Never heard of that person. A diving mushroom. They dive very slowly. Sometimes they can take them up to a month to go in and out of the water once. An insect related to the butterfly, which mimics a flower. It is friendly and unafraid of humans. Nice. I guess this is not where we get the ingredient. It splits off. Let's keep going forward for now. It's very unusual for flowers like this one to grow here. You see what I see? Mushrooms! Tree mushrooms! Tree mushrooms are cool. They usually grow lower down though. The flower grins at you. You suspect these mushrooms may be a bit loopy. A keg of beer broke apart next to these mushrooms last week, and they got drenched. Now they think they're birds. This mushroom is trying to scare the other mushroom. This mushroom has a hiccup. A non-alcoholic flower. Are there any alcoholic flowers? A cute ladybug is writing a sonnet to Bob the Spider under one of these flowers. Aww. A hangover is making this flower regret ever having bloomed. This must be beer woods. Okay, there's a house. What if we go this way? It's a wolf. Before I talk to you, I'm going to examine all the mushrooms and berries and stuff. Berries! Yet another mushroom. A mushroom aspiring to become a lemon. Tiny, tiny mushroom tinies. Extremely cute and extremely poisonous mushrooms. A family of Wirgus lives inside this mushroom. Whatever those are. Arr! Moddy Doo. I's Moddy Doo. Means black puppy, 'cause I'm tiny and has black fur. I's harbinger of death. Alright then, Shadowy Glen. Is a nice forest. I like the streams and I make splash. Are you hungry? Puppy is hungry. Ugly ship make bad sound and scare puppy's food away. You help puppy? Sure. Little trees up there. I bet this must be a hill far away beyond these trees. A pretentious art squirrel arranged those nuts in a shallow attempt to impress, not enlighten. It's art squirrel mating season, but then, isn't it always? There's so much commentary on art and content creation in this one little bit of dialogue. A spider that worships Hlo. That must be whoever lives here. Tree mushrooms, yay! The fairies who hang around these mushrooms may look dainty, but they're tough as nails. Don't bother them and they won't bother you. A water whale made years ago in Alnian. These flowers smell of beer. Oh hey, you found a repulsive squish leaf. That's one of the ingredients we were looking for, isn't it? Remember if any of these other things did anything. Well, let's take a look at it. It squishes. It smells repulsively squishy. You taste a little of the plant. It tastes squishily repulsive. The mouse is disgusted with you. Hello.
Hey, what is it, traveler?
Torkin, tell me about yourself.
My name is Torkin. This is my brewery. I make the finest beer in these islands. My family has lived on the Isle of the Moon since before records began. Aye, and we've been brewing beer ever since.
What about Bonbon, the guy at the city?
The lad can be a little foolish, if you know what I mean, but his heart's in the right place. That's what truly matters, is it not?
Brewing?
An ancient, honorable art passed down from generation to generation since the earliest days of the world. Beer brings health and good cheer to all, and I'm proud to be a brewer.
Tell me about this place.
It is quite quiet and peaceful, and the water is fresh. What better place to build a brewery?
The Petrified Forest is a strange place. New location added to the map, nice.
Somewhat to the southeast of here. Here, I'll mark it on your magic map. You might want to stay away from there, though. It's eerie.
Some say it sprang from the ground when the timber tyrant died. Beer for Oi?
Oi needs beer again? Already? Well, I won't complain. Here, put these in your window. Only my finest for Oi.
Alright, so they were supplying the tavern. We're getting a little insight into the economy of this little place. You have a token for me?
Aye, I do have such a token. I knew a little of its history too. All the families that rose against the timber tyrant have one, to ensure the tyrant remains entombed forever. I might be willing to part with it, but it's more precious than the people of Port Darag know. I'll tell you what, since you're a traveler, perhaps you can find something for me. Some time ago, an old friend of mine, Ninkasi, promised to send me the recipe for her secret beer. It never arrived and she pridefully refuses to send it again. If you locate it for me, I'll give you the token.
I don't remember why we're looking for all these tokens, but maybe it could be side quests, or it could be main quest important. Tell me about the timber tyrant.
He was a king in the Isles a long time ago, a great general and a terrible man. He conquered and slaughtered and oppressed like few before him until our ancestors rose up against him. They say his tomb is in the Petrified Forest.
Mighty Do the wolf?
I thought it was trying to be invisible, so I pretended not to see it. Can't say I'd know what to feed it, though. Have you asked another dog?
Cool. Beer! Well, you know what we gotta do with that. You take a sip. Yeah, it's pretty good. Just give it to Oi. It smells of fermented cereals. Mouse says it prefers wine. Wow, that's a lot of beer. Certainly is. It's important to measure the pressure inside the brewing mechanism. This is why breweries sometimes explode. Wait, they do? A cup for tasting the beer. The beer is brewing away. Alright, well thanks. No nails up here to examine? I think that's everything we can do here. Well, let's try Alnion. It's all broken. These mushrooms make you think of a good sauce. These mushrooms used to be sold in the marketplace here in Alnion, and were one of the reasons Boren liked to trade here. This flower has a melodramatic view of life. These flowers have no idea that this place used to be a village. This mushroom is in a relationship with the flower. One of these flowers is in a relationship with the mushroom. The other used to disapprove, but is learning to be more tolerant. This mushroom has a lisp. A tiny communist mushroom. Being somewhat snooty, these flowers would prefer to live in a garden. This mushroom acts like it's above everyone. It's because it got up on a rock. The wall looks like it's been chewed on. What would chew on stone? A Goron? I think that's everything to click on. It's all fallen down. The debris of a life that no longer exists. Nothing much to say about this flower, except that it's pretty. These mushrooms think they're on a beach. These flowers are very excited about the puddle. What puddle? Oh, this puddle. This flower isn't unhappy, but has the feeling that the world isn't quite what it once was. Objects that have no meaning without people to care about them. This is some rich text. I found a thing! It doesn't really look good on you. It smells of gold. Strange that. Eating Boren's amulet? That's splendid. Maybe later. The mouse says it used to have one of these back before it was fashionable. The stands are in ruins. And the music is very fitting. A monument to the wheel, which once brought Alnion prosperity. The great invention, the wheel. Time has not been kind to these fragile structures. People once died to defend this temple to a god whose name no one remembers. Did we learn about what happened here? Was it recent or was it a long time ago? Huh. A broken wheel. Perhaps the house belonged to a wheelwright. Humidity and time are distorting the wood that makes up this unfinished wheel. The barrel is empty except for some mold. You found a tremendous toadstool! That's one of the ingredients we need for something, right? Why? It smells of wheels within wheels. Also baby feet. Wheels within wheels. Random biblical angel reference. The habit of just putting things in your mouth without thinking. What is it about? I mean, it's been with me since I was a little baby. The mouse inspects the mushroom and pronounces it to be inedible in its raw state, but useful in alchemical processes. We found a new ingredient, yay! These two flowers once talked to a flower that lived in a garden when Alnion was a living village. They're not sure they like the idea of gardens. These flowers seem to be quite common on this island. Perhaps one day these flowers will cover the entire village and no one will remember that people once lived here. Nature's beginning to reclaim the road. Oh, hello. There's a dragon here. The dragon has avoided eating this mushroom. They're friends. Nail. This nail dislikes the non-unification of the word fail. I'm not sure I like that rhyme. You don't understand the dragon's language. Okay, I'll be back. Thanks for talking to me and not eating me. Let's hop to the petrified forest. Oh hey look, it's the temple. Maybe we'll get to go there later. We gotta go back to the port to talk to Oi. We gotta go back to Underhome to make some potions or something. Stone berries, they'll split your teeth right in two. Alright, because it's petrified. These mushrooms are muttering to themselves. Two very stoic mushrooms. You have found stoneflower seeds! Yes, now we can make one of the first recipes. A stone to stone mushroom. Alright, found the dead end. Don't try to eat these mushrooms. A very young stone mushroom, probably less than 10 years old. They grow slowly. This mushroom knows the secrets of witchcraft. Nice! Just randomly a mushroom in the petrified forest. It's amazing how heavy these mushrooms are. You wouldn't want one to fall on your head. Or toe, I'm sure. A crooked mushroom. These stone flowers are playing hide and seek. It's a very slow game, but they've got time. Two pretty stone flowers. Man, look at these branches. Whole branches are petrified. So I know petrified forests are a real thing. Does it extend out to the branches, or is it just... I thought it was just the trunks, but I guess I don't actually know. I actually know very little about petrified forests. Is there only one in the world? Or are there multiple? Do the branches get petrified too, or just the trunks? I know there was a petrified forest in, I think it was Aragon? Dragon writing fantasy book? There's a tiny stone insect drinking stone nectar from one of these flowers. And we're really gonna run into the Gorons. You're not agile enough to get across, especially not with this window. I need an agility potion. Alright. Back to port. So I met your somebody else who's your own species. I don't know if you're related. Mayor Penglong's scared of him, but I don't understand why. Dad's not scary, is he? Ah, is your dad. Petrified forest. That place makes my fur stand on end. Be very careful if you go there. Better, just don't go. Alright. Mayor have anything more to say? Probably not. Beer recipe.
Can't say I've heard anything. A few ships have been lost over the years, though. Especially before Jack took over the lighthouse, that is. Maybe he can help you?
You have anything new? Nope. You have anything new? Amulet.
You found it? I had not dared to hope you would, but my heart's gladdened. This amulet is not truly precious. There's no Arkenstone or Nymphalos to make it a prize for kings.
Arkenstone, that's a Hobbit reference. I know this is probably a reference too.
But it means much to me. It is a memory of things long gone, a connection to the past. Thank you. Here is your sextant. May it guide you to whatever it is you seek.
Alnian.
It's a sad sight, is it not? There's beauty to places reclaimed by nature, but it is ever a melancholic beauty. I far prefer the steady, unpretentious, hopeful beauty of a living town.
Hey. I don't actually know how this tool works. I know it's used for navigation on the sea. That's all. Use sextantify. It smells of imitative messages of social insects. That would be kind of difficult. The mouse calculates something, then giggles. What else do we... Stoneflower seeds. No, not really. They smell gray. Crunchy. I ate them? Are they gone? Okay, I guess I gotta go get more. Nothing else for you. You have anything new? Nope. Got some beer for you. You have more rumors? Flying anarchists have been seen on the rooftops of Billion Toad City. It's that time of year again. Here's some beer. Thank you, you're a savior. And here's your token. It was lying under a bottle of mimetic maca. I don't really know what it's good for. The token, I mean, not the maca. My father gave it to me when I was a boy, saying it's an old family heirloom. Ninkasi's beer recipe? Ninkasi? Isn't that Torkin's old... I see. Well, I don't think your package ever arrived in Port Darag. Maybe the ship sank or was robbed by pirates. Okay. You got the token! Yay! Nothing for you. Nothing for you. Alright, well I gotta go back and get some more stone flower seeds. Yay! Let's not eat them this time. Oh, the mouse says everyone has stone flower seeds these days. It's not like back when they were unknown. Then they were still interesting. Tomb key, transponder mushroom. Is there anything else that we've got that we haven't looked at? Alright, well, back to the Underhome we go. This is not the right floor. This is also not the right floor. Also not the right floor. Here we go. We got some new stuff. You know what that means? Lots of new text. Oh my goodness. Alright, this one, and then the stone flower seeds, and everything else. You created an impressive number of unique smells that few will ever truly appreciate. You created spider beer. Bob the spider comes and takes it for his lair. You're welcome. You created the smell of pine... What did I create? Pine needles resting on a mushroom in Mirkwood. You created a potion of narcissistic lifestyle politics. Thankfully, the awful brew evaporates rather quickly, leaving behind only a stain that smells vaguely of Maoism. Maoism, of course, being the Chinese Cultural Revolution brand of communism. You created the smell of feet. Ew. Sorry to be crude, but you created an awful fart. Alright, so we're now on to this one. No, we're not. You created phlogiston. Let's go back. Now we gotta do it with this one. So many stuffs. You created cauldron cake aroma. What do you mean cauldron cake? Deltarune wasn't out for another like 15 years. Cauldron cake must be a thing that created the smell of a sweaty dog. How peculiar. Must have been a thing. Must be like an actual type of cake or something. You created a very small electric discharge, just strong enough to tickle a beagle. What does that mean? You created a potion that goes bzzz. You created ennui. I don't know what that is. You created a homebrewed Sapporo. Hey, we got an item. I don't remember what it was. You created a potion of Zibble. You created a Ferny Flange. I hope I didn't miss anything. This is a potion of Zibble. You created something inappropriately glum. Alright, now it's time to go here. We already did these. You create a weird potion. I'm getting so many potions. You created gold pressed latinum. It's worthless. That is a rare Star Trek substance that the Ferengi use for money. Can I get another potion? Alright, 2 potions. You create alkahest, it dissolves itself. Wait, whoops. Noir mode. Various modes. Hard for me to remember what I just did all the time. You create a powerful homeopathic drug. It does nothing. Nothing but the placebo effect. You created a tiny amount of zerbate, but you have no use for it. I don't know what that is. Did you get a cookie? What is a cookie? We got a cookie. What did I just do? You did not create something smelly. Or did you create something not smelly? Is this one the cookie? Yeah. You created Funky Bubblesnoid. You created a substance that goes eek. Alright, how many of these texts are there? I gotta do the next one so I remember where I am. You created lobotomite. It evaporates, leaving behind only the smell of austerity. Let's see if we can do this puzzle. So there's 5 of these, so that's 5 times the number of permutations here. The number of permutations here is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus 8 plus 7. 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2. No, that's plus 1. So, starting at 9, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. 45 times 5 texts from this. Assuming all boxes get full. What's 45 times 5? 45 times 2 is 90. 90 times 2 is 180. Plus 45 is 225. There are 225 texts from this. I guess that's not that many. I was thinking like thousands. Alright, here we are. You created a question mark? You created something goaty. You created the stuff that accumulates under human fingernails. Eek. You created Fluffle Buffle. Did I do this one? Is this the stuff that accumulates? Yeah. Alright, time for the green one. You created a goth potion. You created Zoot. You created a taste of page 1124 of the Wineperis University Editable Library's version of the authorized biography of Vlad Taltos as told to a hamster. Nice. Is that this one? You created lethargy. Which one was the edible page there? You created a momentary sense of gloom. You created an unstable hole worm. It's completely mad, watch out! You created air. Careful, Bob the Spider might sue you for copyright infringement. He invented that stuff, you know. That reminds me of one time when I was, for whatever reason, searching for the objectivist answer to global warming. And I found a page where it was like, well, obviously global warming doesn't exist because, you know, objectivists and all their objectivity and reason obviously cannot acknowledge the existence of global warming. But but if it did exist, then the answer would be to privatize the air. Yes. The objectivist solution to global warming is to privatize the air. I don't even remember where I am in this. That one. Okay, right there. Then again, that was only one forum post. So I shouldn't treat everybody who subscribes to that philosophy as if they have the same answer. Because ostensibly, it is a philosophy based on people rationally coming to their own beliefs, which are which they're extremely pressured to conform to the other objectivist beliefs, because if you're objective and rational, you should have the same beliefs as other objective rational people. I digress. You created a non-potion. Was that this one? You created Pierre. Pierre is a candle. He goes away. You created organic, gluten-free nothing. That didn't work, sorry. Alright. Almost done with the green. I got another cookie! Multiple ways to make cookies. You created the smell of the Talos Principle. How did that happen? This game was before the Talos Principle. Maybe it was like his idea of the philosophy. Or was this game before the Talos Principle? I don't actually know. Maybe he was working on it at the time when he made this. You created the smell of orange blossoms. You created the smell of earth after rain. It's very pleasant, and it's called petrichor. Red potion time. You created a potion of agility! Yes! We need that for the petrified forest. You created a Scrodian scrum bubble. It sounds worse than it is. You created a Scottish substance. Yeah, we have a recipe for agility potion, don't we? Stones and mushrooms. And alcohol. Scottish. Why is that Scottish? You created the worst soup in human history. You're welcome. You created hideous popcorn. You created a time paradox. It immediately winks out of existence. You created a grumble. You created a red substance. Workers of the world unite! It shouts in its adorable little voice. You created a small amount of Zizicium. It twitches and says something incoherent. I feel my mother into slavery to see a movie called V for Vendetta 2. That's my Zizik impression. Was that this one? You created an insectile undershirt. You created inorganic food. There is some of that. Like salt. You created home-brewed Sapporo. You created a semi-pudding. You created hyper cannoli. They cannot be perceived in this dimension. Hyper, like, more than 3 dimensions. Is that this one? Alright, only one more potion to go. You created an error. Liquid cheese! Ugh. You made a left-wing dwarf sneeze. Oh yeah, we also added this one, so we gotta go back through all the potions with this one and these 3. Wait, Okay, we'll just go there. You created an insubstantial substance. Whatever that is. You created a mimetic baboon. You created the nun sense of fun. You created something fun and relaxing, but a corporation in the land of Sweaty Bum owns something that has a similar name, so your alchemical result gets blocked just in case. You created a sense of decorum. We did these two already? Yeah. You created the smell of a bard's earlobes. You created a substance that goes away. You created a Wilhelm scream. Aha! You created the smell of a blacksmith's pants. You created a terror crumpet. It runs away. You created a sense of excitement. You created a potion, but it seems kind of flat. What did we just do? Must have been that one. You created the smell of religion berries. You created a weird potion. I have so many weird potions. Alright, we've gone through all of these with these 3 new items. Now we gotta do it with the blue cap. You created an astral beard. Nice. You created a potion of astrology. It does nothing. You created a bananadine. It's yellow. You created a gelatinous colloquialism. You created an unquenchable hunger for pizza. Ain't that every day. You created the new flesh. Almost there, guys. You created a whisper of elephants. You created ein Deutsch Substanz, a German substance. You created a smell that's unique to a species of nudibranches living in the waters near Swalon's Island. All these are so oddly specific. You created the taste of fried dog. Somewhere you hear a cat salivating in a particularly evil fashion. Oh no, I didn't want that. You created the smell of the forest of eyeballs in spring. You created an outrageous number of descriptions! That is true. You created a tiny drop of orange juice. Oh my god, it's a bear! You created omnicular crepes. So yeah, I wonder, again, if these descriptions are based on if you get them in this order, no matter what order you put the ingredients in, except for the ones that are recipes, or if it is for specific ingredient types. Because if it's for specific ingredient types, then you could create a ridiculous number of descriptions on your first try by accident. Got nothing to say about me hanging out in this room forever? I guess these are the only potions I have. Potion of Zibble. Human, why have you summoned me? I guess I've summoned Screech. I'm quite busy running my circus and preparing my next show, so if you'll please let me work. Lord Horizon, he's made of poo if you ask me. Dog poo. Fortunate Isles. I've been to the Fortunate Isles. Not a bad place. I especially like the Isle of the Sun. The weather is quite pleasant there. Never been there. Okay, let's enchant the Potion of Zibble with flour. That didn't work. Essence of Derek, you created a sheep gas. We might have done this all already. A potion of Frubble. Now we have to do potion of Frubble with everything. We created a potion of Zibble. Alright. Sheep ions, they disperse immediately. And this stuff just doesn't work. Herpetic goop. No, potion of Zibble now. Another potion of Frubble. So if I use it with this, it goes away. You create a sound. Alright. That's about all we can get here. Let's see if we can do anything in the kitchen. Don't have anything to bake. A stove, frying, fridge, cookbooks. We already got this in here, didn't we? Nothing new. Alright, so let's, I don't know, maybe the has something new to talk about? Nope. Let's go back to the petrified forest. And now we should be able to get across with a potion of agility. We got a bunch of new stuff, didn't we? Cookies! You use the cookie, it's functional. It smells of yummy chocolate bits. That's chocolate, right? Now who cares if it smells like chocolate, it's chocolate. The mouse says it doesn't want the cookie, then eats it while you're not looking. My cookie's gone! The mouse asks you whether it looks like a rabbit. Flat potion. Doesn't really have a use, to be honest. It smells kind of flat. The mouse says it prefers bubbly potions. I don't want to eat it yet. Goth potion. Stylishly depressed potion. It doesn't want to. It smells like dead roses. The mouse is not impressed. Homebrewed Sapporo. An alcoholic beverage that's particularly popular on the Isle of the Sun. Due to pressure from Lord Urizen, the homebrewed variety has been illegalized. Touching the bottle's illegal! It smells illegal. The mouse claims that it can detect the smell of anise, and proper to Sapporo shouldn't contain anise. I'm not going to try this because I might get rid of it. Leak, nothing. Potion of agility, we gotta take it. Use the eat drink function. Smells of very nimble protoparticles. The mouse finds it amusing that you need a potion to enhance your nimbleness. You feel nimble. Potion of agility you drink makes crossing the log a lot easier. You've located the tomb of the Timber Tyrant. Now to find the way in and claim its treasure. Do we still have our agility potion, or is it done forever? Can I just drink all the potions and get their abilities? Some people make the mistake of thinking the petrified forest is dead, but it's just slow. These flowers weren't here a few years ago. You wonder what stone mushroom soup would taste like. Crunchy, probably. Well, not if you just let it simmer and then you remove the stone afterward. These two mushrooms are very sinister. There seems to be a tiny bee made of stone slowly crawling around these flowers. This mushroom seems to be guarding the entrance. This mushroom had a hard look about it. If you don't bother these mushrooms, they won't bother you. That spider web is extremely solid. You're going to need some kind of special weapon to cut through it. I guess I don't have that. Got a lot of items. Alright, we can fast travel to the ship now. Oh, hey! I guess we can just travel now. Wow. Okay. Where did we come from? We're Isle of the Stars? Nope. Nope. So we can go to the ship and sail now. Do you have anything new to say? Fortunate Isles. Ah!
Ah, my friend, there's so much to see. The lyrical slopes of the Isle of the Sun, the vast desert of the Isle of the Stars, the beauty of Althonia, the grace of Sadak, the serenity of small uninhabited islands. The Fortunate Isles are full of joys and mysteries for us who are born to travel.
Alright, so we get to go. Isle of the Sun, Isle of the Moon. That's where we are now, it seems. There's a sea serpent.
Ah, I'm a big sea monster.
I'm thinking of the Jormungandr from God of War.
I'm Gragarthon, the sea monster. I'm big and scary. Grar! Well, actually, I'm just a baby. But someday I'll be huge and I'll carry boats on my back. And little islands and maybe seals will come and play on my scales. Do you think the seals will like me?
Plankton?
Plankton is yummy. Sometimes the water tastes bad lately. I don't know why.
Probably the plastic bags and oil. Ship, anything else to examine? I bet we can go here. Shall we go to the Isle of the Stars? And where's this? Sadak.
Welcome to Sadak, traveler.
Sadaka. Lizard.
I'm a very tiny lizard. I like sitting in the sun. I'm going to be a tourist guide when I grow up.
Tell me about Sadaka.
The city was founded many eons ago by a traveler from another world. He named it after a word he had learned in that world, which he thought was exceptionally beautiful. Since then, the city has grown, and it has produced many philosophers and scientists and artists. Recently, the big people got very angry because they were so poor and didn't have any freedom. They threw out Mayor Zahak. Now the military has taken over.
Oh, great.
The desert is very big. There's almost nothing else on the whole island. It's also very dangerous. You better stay away from it.
Got a doctor here?
There's a very good doctor in Sadaka. His name is Dr. Crustum, and you can find him in his office north of the small plaza that's east of the marketplace.
Oh, I'm still not good at giving directions. Yeah, that wasn't too bad, but I'm not gonna remember that. Recommendations?
You should definitely visit the marketplace. Even though there's a crisis and it's not as glorious as it once was, the market has many great stalls. You should also see the desert gate and its beautiful reliefs. If you go see it, notice how the one side is larger than the other to symbolize the idea that good always outweighs evil in the world.
Let's go. I wonder what that means in terms of the philosophy of this game. This rope has a cousin who works in Althonia Harbor. An old boat has seen better days, but it still enjoys riding the waves. Sitting Fadil used to live here, but the economic situation forced him to relocate to Terragnor. An old fisherman lives in this house. He claims to have once seen an enormous dragon-like snake creature while he was fishing. The inhabitants of this house disappeared a few weeks ago. Well, I hope they're okay.
Well, hello.
These boats smell faintly of eels. A box of bait. The people of Sadaka traditionally use salted flag grubs as bait since no one actually wants to eat them. Fish don't seem to mind. The bucket is empty, but hopeful. People are starting to fish for themselves again around here. A fish hook? Why is that one word? It looks silly. Two H's in a row. You know what's fun is when you get a word with 3 of the same letter in a row. Like Gauss's law. There's an apostrophe, but it's still 3 S's. I don't want to talk to anyone. Please, I have no desire to speak. Okay. I'll leave you. This mushroom's hanging on for the ride. Hello? I think you're in one of the Steam preview pictures. I don't remember what I feel like there's a name for that, but I don't remember if there is. Bajat. Hi, is it warmer today than usual? I'm currently in the process of changing from male to female. It's something my species has always been able to do. I've never done it myself because it used to be more or less illegal. It's odd to feel your whole body changing. My arms are so much smaller than they used to be, and I keep feeling either too hot or too cold. But I'm really looking forward to being female for a few years. Who knows? Maybe I'll stay that way too. Cool. Mayor Zahak. We kicked out Mayor Zahak. He was a real tyrant, always doing exactly what Lord Durizen told him, stealing everything we had so he could live like a king. But we got angry and we chased him away. It was a great moment in our history. So I wonder if Jonah's got this idea of this species changing between male and female from the Culture sci-fi series that he keeps bringing up, referencing in his games. Because in the Culture, this million year in the future, basically technologically super advanced utopia, the humans or human descendants or human, what are they in sci-fi when they're humans but not actually like parallel evolution that becomes humans? The people of the Culture can also do this. Change from between men and women. Sadaka. Despite all the fighting and poverty, I love it here. The air, the sun, the fountains. If only we could be a little more free. Well, it sounds like since you threw out your tyrant, you might be on the way. Desert. They say there's an oasis in the desert, but no one has been there in a long time. We prefer to stay in the city. But that said, after you depose a tyrant, you should be wary of the power vacuum because somebody could step into that place and be just as bad. The flowers on top of this fountain are having a very good time. The beauty of this fountain was praised by the great poet Ibn Zamrak. That name sounds familiar. This flower enjoys watching the fountain. This is the home of Bajat. This jar contains roasted grasshoppers, a local delicacy. This flower widely prefers hanging out in the shade. This plant has an ant. This plant is sometimes overly sarcastic. When circumstances permit, the people of Sadaka like to sit in the shade on their rooftops and discuss matters of philosophy. Oh. Hello? Are you gonna rob me? I don't know. I shouldn't. I don't know the expressions of your people. You look like you're eyeing me, but then maybe that's the only way you can see me with your eyes on the sides of your heads. And then your teeth, well, I mean, maybe you just have an overbite. Move along. I know a troublemaker when I see one. We're the vanguard of the revolution. We keep it from turning into just another uprising by the unthinking masses. We're here to create order, to safeguard the future of our island and our alliances. You better not get in our way. Didn't you say something about military, or didn't somebody say something about this becoming a military state? What's that called? There's a term for it when the military has the political power. I don't remember what it is. Martial law. The city is ours and we're going to return it to its former glory. The people who live in this house are too afraid of the guards to come out. This house now belongs to a bank. Like they're trying to do with Underhome. Uh-oh. This place is too big. Too many splitting paths. There's another mayor. Hello? Tell me about yourself. I'm a guard, I guess. Why don't you move along? We're supposed to protect the people in the city. What is it, stranger? I've been told that I need to change to being a man because that would be preferable in a guard. I thought the revolution was all about getting rid of that sort of thing.
If it's legal for civilians, why shouldn't it be legal for me? What's the general trying to accomplish? Not like strangers can tell our genders apart. I wish we would just keep strangers out of our city. No offense, I don't have a problem with you, but we got enough problems on our own. We keep the peace, that's important. You can't imagine how chaotic it all got when we kicked out the mayor. Can't have people looting and smashing things. People don't know what's good for them. This is the home of notable scholar Fatima bint Qais. A family of Kata from Resir live in this building. Anything else? Well, if you just let me by, I'm fine with that. These scholarly flowers are debating the work of Al-Jahiz. Is that a real person? These flowers were once the subject of complex experiments by an apothecary from Tarna. They've been slightly kooky ever since. This flower never liked General Umguma. That must be who we're about to see. It's another one of you. I think I asked the first time I saw one of them, like, are they just a skull or are they like a spirit invisible? This looks almost exactly the same. The three swords of leadership. Swords of leadership, freedom, and obedience. Great. That definitely makes a coherent, harmonious philosophy. The dagger of military democracy. The dagger of national justice. General Umguma has unlocked a Skull of Duty achievement armed by Urizen. So we've got some kind of... So Lord Urizen is some kind of conqueror, it seems, coming through and imposing some kind of colonialist order on these islands. That's the story I'm getting. Keep your hands off that. That's private property. The local enemy understanding the threat of the masses. Oh my god. Fighting terrorism. How democracies can defeat domestic and international terrorism. Skull and Bones, a new guide to finding love for the skeletally disposed. The 4 elemental principles of political rule. A camouflage box containing the general's dagger-proof hat. Don't want the hat to get stabbed by a dagger now, would we? A feather from a hummingbird shot by the general himself. A list of names, some of them crossed out. Probably a harmless list of party invitations, right? A photo of Ilsa Hoppenstein, the general's old mistress. A photo of General Umguma at an important political meeting in Borrington. Defending the principle of democracy from the undemocratic masses. Yes. Democracy, the god that failed. The economics and politics of monarchy, democracy, and natural order. How successful people think. Change your thinking, change your life. How knowing the right people will let you get away with murder. A handy guide with many illustrations. Oh my goodness. We got some crazy leaders in these towns. This safe does not contain those millions that accidentally couldn't be accounted for. Keep your hands off that, that's private property! It's just a paperweight. The shape is not intended to imply any kind of desire to use big, long cannons to penetrate the defenses of the enemy in any of its connotations. Please refrain from interacting with any of these objects. Despite their cleverly disguised appearance, they are not luxury items, but items essential to national security. For sure. These objects are essential for a smooth transition to democracy. Dictatorship is the new democracy. 25 new ways of making your military dictatorship shine. My love affair with cluster bombs. By Christopher Hitchens. I know that name. Ooh. One of the so-called 4 horsemen of atheism. Also a very mean man. An object of great military value.
My Struggle by Margaret Thatcher, with a foreword by Satan. 13 tantalizing new ways of polishing a skull. Margaret Thatcher being, if you don't know your history, which I don't know my history very well, I think she was maybe Prime Minister of Britain or in a high office of Great Britain during the same time as Ronald Reagan in the United States, and was kind of like and that was when the whole like economic shift to focus on big businesses as like the I'm not saying these words very well. Like that was when the label used for this kind of politics is neoliberalism, or sometimes neoconservatism, which I don't know the difference between those two things, so don't take my word on all this. But it's basically the idea that the unit of the economy is the big business. That sentence didn't make sense, but like the focus of the economy should be big businesses. And government economic policies became, you know, the mindset kind of shifted from trying. I don't know my economic history as well as I thought I did. Anyway, it was a time when neoliberalism, when like capitalism as it used to be transformed into neoliberalism, which is the capitalism of big business that we know today. Anyway, this box contains state secrets.
Keep your hands off that. That's private property. Howdy, stranger.
Tell me about yourself.
I think of myself as a patriot in the nationalist sense, as someone who has the best interests of Sadaka in mind. Hard choices have to be made, and it will take courage to bring Sadaka into the future. I am confident that our actions in support of the revolution will lead through the current dry spell into a brighter future. We will work hard and overcome our troubles. I am confident. For all legal purposes, these statements are to be taken as being of an inspirational nature. Economic results may vary.
What do you think of Lord Urizen?
We are in no way affiliated with Lord Urizen, though we refuse to ignore any potential allies. We love this island too much for that.
What about the Isle of the Stars?
Our island is very beautiful and has many ancient traditions, but unfortunately its people have allowed themselves to degenerate. They have become very lazy and very unruly. That's why a tyrant like Major Zahak could take over, and why the military is needed to point the people in a new direction.
Tell me about your military.
The military is the revolution. Despite claims that we attacked civilians under Mayor Zahak, the military was always opposed to his despotic rule, which is why we have decided to seize power to ensure a proper transition to democracy. We want true democracy after all, and not simple mob rule.
Stability?
Democracy requires stability. There are many who wish to undermine this stability, but we will not let them. We will defend stability in this region at all costs. Stability is the foundation of freedom. Stability is the root of reform. Stability is the color of competitiveness. Stability is the melody of a market. Stability is the fragrance of Fahrenheit. Stability, stability, stability. Excuse me.
Well, stability can be nice if it is nice. But also, if you want change, there has to be some instability. I know that from physics. And just because that's the language we use for how things happen. If everything is stable all the time, everything stays the same, there needs to be some instability for there to be growth. Various roasted nuts, including arata nuts and goose drainer nuts. The latter look unappetizing, but actually taste amazingly good. Belly dancing biscuits. They go well with Kordak's cookies. It's empty, but it smells of finger food. Cooled iguana berry juice. These glasses are kind of cheap, but they work. Tea. Some people drink it. I drink tea. Coffee in the morning, tea in the evening.
Greetings, traveler. What would you like?
Tell me about yourself, Hassan.
My name is Hassan, and I sell the most wonderful fresh delicacies in the city.
Finger food, roasted nuts,
Tea, both warm and cooled, belly dancing biscuits, aromatic giggle juice. I have it all.
Not much longer, of course, since it's impossible to make a living these days, so enjoy my specialties while you can.
Tea? Too many people do not appreciate the wonders of tea, knowing it only as a tedious beverage consisting of mildly warm water poured over leaves that might as well be chips of wood. Thus, they are never exposed to the many varieties of taste that tea has to offer. The spicy, the hot, the cool, the gentle, the invigorating, a whole universe of experience lost to incorrect preparation.
Yeah, I just buy the store-bought bags of ground stuff. Specialties? Specialties like mine are a luxury, a sign of civilization and comfort. When people are constantly afraid for their future, they have no time for belly dancing biscuits and mysterious mints. They would rather spend what little they have on boring staple foods. I can't blame them. Oh, at least they probably don't have French fries and hamburgers around here. At least not the super ultra processed kind that you find at mega corporate chains, you know? Although, given what else I've seen about these islands, that might be changing soon.
Sadaka? There's no city quite like it. Then again, I suppose that is true of all cities, but I like living in this one. At least not when we're suffering. When things are good, there's nothing entirely like the elaborate yet earthly elegance of Sadaka in the spring.
Finger food?
Ah, that's the one thing I'm out of. Sorry, would you like the recipe instead?
It's not like I need to keep it a secret.
I'll be out of business sooner or later anyways.
Why, thank you. See a black and white scroll. Hello! These flowers can be used to make a very strong tea. Regular radishes. It looks like znoot, but it's actually Regolian zberth herb. Prickly parsley, eat carefully. Fresh white znoot. Fresh blue znoot. You can't quite place the smell of these leaves. Something minty anyway. Mild sweet chilies. These small purple fruits used to flavor traditional sweets grow on underwater trees along the coastline. That is a sentence and I read it wrong. Weird chilies. A rare variety of chili that tastes like grasshoppers. It's quite popular in Sadaka. Waneric oregano leaves. Pinkish znut. Baboonish basil leaves. Crimson cayenne pepper. Orange znut. A strange blue spice that's commonly used to flavor erotic eels. And all these thieves. Purple paprika. Sacroiliac saffron, a rare spice. Executive powder. It has many uses. Brown blue mustard seeds. Surrealistic sumac. Portocalian sneezing powder. Green Nabonius Znoot. Desert salt. The spice. Lycanthropic garlic. Oh! So if you gotta chase away the werewolves, buy that. That's not something it looks like. Oh, it is. Alliterative avocado powder. It's not... Is it really an alliteration if you only have two of the same letter? Trebnosius flurm spice. A traditional Leninist spice. Nobody knows what this spice does, yet you're selling it anyway. High quality turmeric. People come from all over the lands of Dream to get this stuff. Peculiar pepper. Blegular Vragno seeds. Arcean alkanet, the spice which began the great spice name capitalization debate. A culino-linguistic war that raged for centuries. Chthonic chili, or something that looks a lot like it. I know that word from Hades. It means deathly. Deathly chili. It must be like ghost pepper. Desert pepper. Flabegulus znoot. Cubib. Pink pepper. Ground caraway. Purple nutmeg, or is it just purple nutmeg? The capitalization debate returns. A local variety of aniseed. What's this blue thing right here? Oh, it's just the window. A new, as yet unnamed spice mix. Astringular flirk. Dried water seeds. Fantastic fennel. Ground ninroot. This looks like flabular myrrh, but it's actually vintaginous vanilla. Yellow wasabi. It's so insanely strong it will make your tongue catch fire. Some people start sweating just from being in a room with it. Just some entirely regular salt. I see this little one here. Blue celery seeds. You don't know why they're blue. The ashes of the phoenix are said to improve the taste of meat. Citric cinnamon. Very good for making cakes. Alright, I've inspected everything you're selling. Can I interest you in some spices? Tell me about yourself. I am a master of the art of taste and smell, of finding and preparing the ingredients that create pleasure. I seek, I discover, I experiment. I explore the delight of purity and the revelation of complexity. I crawl down the secret corridors of flavor and climb the highest mountains of olfaction. The most important ability for a spice merchant is to be able to suppress one's sneezes. Many a great career has been ended by an untimely sneeze. A Madon of Vlachia almost lost his life when he sneezed while handling flammable fennel, you know? Oop. Philosophy. I believe we live in a world full of wonders, and the greatest blasphemy is to not enjoy them. To live the life of the ascetic is to reject the beauty of creation. To appreciate the manifold graces of taste and smell is to worship the divinity of the world. A nice philosophy. Fortunate Isles. I've traveled far and wide in the Fortunate Isles seeking spices, and I've found that each isle has its own beauty. This is where I was born and where I choose to live, but I do not think I would be unhappy were I to move to Aphonia. Port Darag is colder than what I'm used to, but it is not without its charm. Crisis. Sometimes it seems like the only spice I sell anymore is salt. Yeah, because people aren't buying the fancy stuff anymore. They just want stuff that will keep their food from spoiling. Azira Island is just off the coast of the Isle of the Stars. It's completely empty, but I know that alchemists sometimes go there to collect rare ingredients. Alright, new location added. Bacteriolytic Baharat. Oh, you say? Of course I have that. What kind of spice merchant would I be if I did not? I'll trade it to you for your assistance in a delicate matter. Yes? Well, you see, Ajlal, she is one of the guards. She has been stopping by my stall many times. I think we met her. Always so aggressive. At first I was frightened of her, but now... Oh, I do not know. Perhaps we are suited for one another. She's so strong and I will... But would you ask her whether she'd like to meet me one day to talk about spices? Okay. Let's go do that right now. Took him long enough to notice. Yes, we can meet. I'd like that. Oh, thank you. This is very exciting. Here's your Baharat. Enjoy. What am I gonna cook? Authenticity.
Oh, the great foods are the result of the people and ideas mixing. Someone tries something here, and then someone else adds a new ingredient over there, and then the third person puts a completely new spin on it, and so on. And the so-called national foods are actually totally international, like pizza, which some call the fifth element, or my beloved canicular curry. Nothing is authentic, my friend, but everything is wonderful. The fifth element pizza. We've seen something like that somewhere else in this game. You got this stuff. Can I eat it? You just have to try everything, don't you? Put it in the soup of recovery. It smells of science. The mouse says it prefers regular Baharat. Alright. We've got so much more. And then we go explore the town, the island. An expensive looking patterned fabric called Frank. This string is made of purest text. A chameleon mushroom who loves fashion. Hey, I was wondering if we're gonna see any more mushrooms in this island. Amar has an extensive collection of sinuous silks. A large roll of dyed muslin. This fabric is made from solidified water in an ancient way that only few remember. Galamkar, produced by a local eccentric whose head is a dog. Not the head of a dog, but a whole dog. It's weird. Good at his craft, though. Polka dot padua soy from Pagana. Green samite made out of the wool of people called Sam. Okay. I mean, you can get wool without harming a person or an animal. A cheap fabric from Sweden. Sweden confirmed in this universe. A boring but comfortable blue fabric. A striped fabric made from blabber plants. Clothing made from it tends to murmur. Vivacious velvet from Vivek. Vivek, isn't that a RuneScape reference? In ancient times, this cloth was used to make bathrobes. A green fabric especially popular with those who travel through forests. Such people have been known to come to the Isle of the Stars simply to acquire a cloak. Can I buy a new rug for the Underhome here? Water-resistant cloth. Cladistic cloth, popular with biologists. Doesn't this fabric remind you of the wallpaper in Underhome? What's up with that? I mean, they had to get it from somewhere, right? Cloth from the land of Alba. Pink cloth so saccharine you could bake a cake out of it. Variable velour. A rare cloth made from the wool of the striped camel. This magical twine is reserved for a mysterious bearded man called Rigu, who came all the way from the strange lands of Rachet to purchase it. A type of cloth made from the yellow stripes of bees. A very flat sandwich. Amar put it there in the morning and then forgot about it. I thought this was going to be a sandwich, but nope, this one. Some believe that cloth with hearts on it grants a long life. They're idiots. Some believe cloth with hearts on it grants a long... I got it. Cloth with a flower pattern. Gardenias from the smell. That's a towel. Green lizard linen. Makes excellent desert clothing. A very thick type of cloth used to make sacks. When it comes into contact with water, it sometimes starts smelling of donkey. A chameleon mushroom disguised as a piece of cloth. Alright, I think that's all we got from... Nope. These two flowers are twins, and this flower is a bit of a contrarian. What's up, Amar? Amar Orc Basher. Salam, traveler. I spent several years in the lands around Erebor, becoming good friends with the Masters of Stone. One day I helped them crush their sworn enemies, the Orcs, in the most vicious game of cricket the world has ever seen. Thus I was given the title Orc Basher, which I bear with great pride. That's from Middle-earth, right? I sell various kinds of cloth. It's not a bad trade, especially since people will still buy cloth even when times are bad.
But to be honest, I have no special admiration for my profession. It is, as I say, a job. Moving? I've been thinking about moving, but I don't know where to. Arda isn't what it used to be, what with the tourists and all, and sometimes I am lucky to be making a living. But it's hard to imagine a future here. Then again, I've been saying that for years, and there's a reason I came back in the first place. It's hard to let go of your roots. What do you think of Lord Urizen? I wonder how he allowed things to get so bad in the first place. When the Isle of the Stars was at its greatest, when its culture was respected all over the world, a man like Lord Urizen could not touch us. Was it people like me who would rather travel than fix the problems at home? Or was it the people who prefer not to travel and never understand the world enough to know what's happening at home? Can I have your token? Oh yes, that thing. I remember buying that. Had a nice conversation with the dwarf who sold it to me too. Unfortunately, I no longer have the token myself. I gave it to Salim, one of the philosophers here in the city. He's interested in historical artifacts. Prejudice? You want to know my honest opinion? It's all a distraction. Nobody really cares about what you do with your privates, but by taking away our personal freedoms, they make us unhappy enough not to notice when they take away everything else. I've seen the same thing happen in every part of the world I've been in. Of course, I thought we were past that now. Who next? This flower is really tired of carpets. You're the one we buy the carpet from. This carpet was inspired by a mushroom. Sitting on it for too long may have hallucinogenic effects. This carpet is just a carpet. Iguana berry juice from Hassan's stand. A small pile of carpets. A tiny bandersnatch is hiding between two of them. Bandersnatch, that's from something. I don't remember what it's from. Sounds Harry Potter-ish. A blue carpet. Don't worry, it will cheer up sooner or later. Carpets can be fickle things. That sounds like a commentary on blue curtains, which is something that you might have heard if you're a writer, or there's a book where I don't even know how to describe it because I just heard about it secondhand, third hand. But like, there's a book with blue curtains, and people debated what the meaning was of the blue curtains and talked about the author's psychological state and this and that. And then somebody asked the author what the curtains meant, and he was just like, they needed a color, so they needed a description, so I said they were blue. Just randomly. Oh, but as a writer, if you can do the metaphor, if you can intentionally put meaning into the color of things, it makes your story stronger. Pink carpets used to be for boys. Now pink carpets are considered girly. Silly, isn't it? I think that's true to real life. An Ashtahan style carpet. This carpet smells like a freshly mown lawn. Ew. No. That's actually pretty nice. I'm thinking of what happens if you mow after a rain and clog the blades with like muddy grass. That gets pretty nasty. This carpet once joined the Black Panthers of the United States. This carpet has a distinctly Ukrainian sensibility. You could describe this carpet smell as reminding you of apples and oranges, but that would probably be an inappropriate comparison. A Yeti fur carpet. A whole lot of carpets. I was worried they were all going to have unique descriptions. So many, in fact, that all their descriptions have collapsed into a description singularity. This is it. What you reading? The Carpet Lover's Handbook, Advanced Carpeting Techniques. I think that's it. Did we really tired of carpets? All right. Hello. Hello. Kalita.
I sit here, sell my carpets, read my books, and observe. You see a lot of things when people think you're not looking. You see how the guards march around like they own the place, but also how they get scared sometimes and look around like a child that knows it's done something wrong. You notice that sometimes people in the streets just stop and collect themselves, taking a deep breath to avoid getting angry. You notice not everything is as it should be. You would like a new carpet? Excellent. I have the best carpets in the city. I'll give you a beautiful carpet, traditionally hand-woven, not one of those awful things they produce with slave labor on the mainland. As you probably know, they're quite expensive, so I'll trade it for something of equal value. I want you to solve a murder. Yes, you heard that right. Asim's son Hashim was found stabbed outside the city gates a few weeks ago, and no murderer has been discovered. People think I just sit here and read books, but I notice things, and I'm certain that something fishy is going on. Besides, poor Asim has been completely broken by all this, and maybe find some answers will help him. I need to take a breath. I have not mastered the art of talking and breathing at the same time. I'm winded. Okay. Sadaqua. It's home, but I think it needs to be better than it is. Freedom. You know what freedom really is? Sitting here and reading a book without anyone bothering me. No one telling me my book is offensive or blasphemous or inappropriate. Being able to get on with my life, doing what I want to do, without being judged or condemned by various self-appointed moral authorities. What I've come to realize is this freedom can only exist in a city that's at peace with itself. Yep. Pretty good. There's also that is a very individualist notion of freedom, though. You also have to consider other people's freedom as well. Which is where it gets complicated, because some people who, because when people exercising their own individual freedom trample on other people's freedom and then are called out for it, they're like, no, what are you doing? You're against freedom. And then that's the being judged or condemned by self-appointed moral authorities. That's what it's interpreted as. It is complicated. Murder. Poor Asim. He lost his wife 2 years ago, and now his son. No one should have to go through that. No wonder he does nothing but sit there and fish all day. I know this is a window, but I keep seeing it as a hat. Alright. How far does this go? Oh my goodness. There's so much. Alright, we will save outside for later. Let's finish exploring the town. I'll save this whole page for next time. Now let's examine it now. That's the door to the guardhouse. Visitors are not welcome there. A fresco showing an ancient hero fighting the covetous griffin on his horse. A fresco showing a brave spearman in the last stand against the great snake of the desert. Great snake of the desert? Are we gonna meet them? These flowers don't really like Fad. Is that your name, Fad? When the guards aren't around, the fountain of the gate is a popular place for young couples to hang out at. What's up, Fad? Who I am is none of your business. Know anything about a murder? Don't go asking too many questions or you might become a suspect yourself. That's frustrating. Well, too bad. I'm gonna go talk to everybody about the murder. He was a troublemaker if there ever was one. His death was probably his own fault. That's what happens when you get involved with criminals. Look, I knew Hashim when he was young. He was a strange boy, but he wasn't a criminal. I don't know how he was out there in the desert. They say maybe he was meeting smugglers, but I don't think it's true. I don't like to talk about it, but, well, I think one of us guards was also out there around the same time. I like how the guards aren't just like generic guard, but they went out of I don't know how much Vera was involved, but what's the Karatza's sister's name? Vera, right? Or is it something else? I don't know how much she was involved in the writing. I don't want to give the man all the credit, but Jonas's name is the one that's just there. It's always first, and he is always the one that comes up in these games. But I do know his sister was I think his sister was also a co-writer in this game, and was definitely a co-writer in the Talos Principle games. I didn't know him, can't comment on things I don't know anything about. Alright, and then in there is, can I talk to you about the murder? Yes. Our investigation clearly showed that the individual in question was involved in illegal activities and met his end, if we can call him a man, since he was also involved in the questionable practice of autosomatic alteration as the result of a smuggling deal gone bad. Alright. Didn't think we'd get anything new from you. This flower is a whistleblower. It revealed the illegal dealings of several seed banks. This species of blue sunflower is very rare. The only other place where they grow is Wonderopolis. This fountain was designed by Atik Sinan. At least they're not low on water. Got plenty of fountains. This is the home of Amar, a famed poet. He lives frugally and speaks to few when he is writing. An old djinn lives here, spending most of his time worrying about his ever-decreasing pension. Let's just go forward. The second most useful invention here in the desert after the parasol. Where there is water, there is life. Right down there. Those trees are having an intimate relationship. Dr. Crustum, PhD, physician and healer, do not give marital advice. A group of bees that have rebelled against their queen are hiding in these flowers. Even the insects. Hello! We'll talk to you later. We'll talk to you first. This lamp is totally digging the colorful windows, man. The people of Sadaqua have always loved flowers, even though they're not exactly easy to grow in the desert. Perhaps that's part of the reason. Alright, there's a visitor having tea with an old friend, it looks like. Sahira's in there talking to Bob the Spider. Bob likes to get his coffee from here. I wonder if we'll get to meet Bob the Spider at the very end. Perhaps for some kind of joke. You've spotted an anomaly in the fabric of space caused by the drinking of too much coffee. What are you talking about? Just clicked on the stool. Rashad! Excuse me for not turning my head. I have a stiff neck. Yeah, for not wanting to draw him in a different perspective. I'm a mathematician, though I dabble in other fields too. I like to sit here and debate my friend Salim. Frankly, there's not much more to do since the kind of work I do is no longer appreciated. What can we learn from abstract mathematics, they say? As much as we learn from all the sciences, but perhaps not always as directly. Yeah, name me any branch of mathematics that isn't useful somewhere. Infinite dimensional space? We use that in quantum physics. Mathematics, a poet once said, is the poetry of God, the perfectly sculpted elegance that underlies every fiber of reality. Sadly, this statement only provoked a long and tedious discussion about whether the word mathematics is singular or plural. It's singular, of course, like biology.
And nowadays, fashionable poets and pseudo-philosophers sponsored by Urizen misapply the language of mathematics to prove their demented logic. What's the quote? There's two types of lies you can tell with statistics. Lies and damned lies. Stavros of Afthonia. Have you met Stavros of Afthonia, a great thinker and a very likable person? Have you read his exchange of letters with Hypatia? Two great minds struggling with great ideas. It left me in awe of both of them. Hypatia's like an ancient historical person, right? And Stavros must also be an ancient historical person. Know anything about a murder? I saw the guards bringing the body into the city. They did not seem very bothered by his death. Perhaps that's simply because they're more hardened than most, but perhaps not. Have you traveled much? I was born and raised in Sadaka, but I traveled a great deal in my younger years. I studied in the kingdom of the enigmatic snakes for a while, then spent some time in Billion Toad City before doing my PhD at Wonderopolis University. But no matter where I went, no matter how strange the customs and alien the languages, I found that my fellow mathematicians and I could communicate, for we all shared a passion for the language of the universe. And that language knows no borders, recognizes no nations. Ain't that the truth? Mathematics, the language of patterns. Good day, traveler. You can see me with both your eyes without turning your head. Salim. I am Salim, a student of philosophy and the sciences. I'm a child of Sadaka, but I believe that wisdom may be found everywhere. Or at least wherever there are those who think, who question, and who believe in the importance of knowledge. What about the crisis? Wherever there's thought, there is hope. A crisis such as this can only be produced in two ways: a natural disaster or an error in our thinking. Clearly, the latter is the case in our present situation. We trusted too much in the stories of our leaders, believed too much in the triumph of the self, and not enough in kindness. Ironically, we're left with no freedom for the self and nothing but kindness to keep us from harm. There's an important lesson to be learned from our city, so precariously balanced between the desert and the sea. The world is beautiful, but much of it is also deadly, and it is only the smallest of margins that life and civilization may come to be. If we upset the balance, we risk destroying ourselves. The greatest of all mysteries, in my opinion, is why mosquitoes fly around one's ears in the morning, buzzing and waking one up. What purpose can be served by this behavior? Clearly sending their victims into a killing frenzy is of no advantage to them, and there are many other places where they may draw blood. So why this infernal buzzing around the ears? No explanation I have heard has been convincing, save for that they are agents of evil, and created only for the purpose of causing outrage and irritation. The great mysteries of the universe. You have a token? The token you seek was unfortunately taken from me by one of the guards. Fod. They are less than friendly these days. What do you think of the murder? I saw Hashim walk into the desert as the sun was setting, carrying a small bag of what I presume were supplies. Such a shame. He had a promising mind. Why, thank you. I'll probably be back. Hello, Doctor. A highly informative illustration about the saurian head. Dr. Crustum's pet eyeball retinus. Ah, Crustum, because he's a piece of bread. These would appear to be breadsticks. You're not sure what they're doing here. The bone of a clone of a crone. No, it doesn't belong to Dr. Crustum. It's on a loan. Hyperworm blood extract. Very useful in certain healing potions, but challenging to harvest, especially because hyperworms only spawn from multi-worms. Poo of the bacteriophagic frog. Mercular spurg. Oh, so you're not like a modern doctor, you're like a homeopathic doctor. A variety of enormous single-celled organisms floating in a jar. They're pets rather than medicine. Distilled sandworm excretions. A blue bottle. Jambalaya jam. An ancient anal antipyretic. Rhubarb-based rheumatism cream. Essence of blurg. I think we've seen essence of blurg before. Bronchodilatory blue balsam. Keeping your teeth clean today will prevent a lot of problems in the future. Root canals are not fun. The model of an eyeball created by a friend of Dr. Crustum's from the Mountains of Oddness. Have you brushed your teeth today? On smallpox and measles. The Canon of Medicine, updated edition. A pink book. Broca's Brain, Reflections on the Romance of Science. Homeopathy is not sorcery, it's fraud. The uses of magic and healing. Not without my urine flask, a healer's tools. On the use of snogular vobs. Anti-snakebite pills. They contain tiny nanocats that hunt down the poison in your blood and scratch it to death. An immunoglobulin enhancer strengthens the microscopic goblins in your bloodstream, allowing them to destroy many diseases. I guess that's one way to talk about white blood cells. Candy. A powerful laxative. Antifungal medication. Never give this to Goombas. Wonderopolis University Guide to Blue Diseases. 300 new ways of stimulating the brain. Advanced treatments for the diseases most common amongst sailors by Stephen Maturin. How to grow biogenic medicines. By Cornelia Mysterious-Druid. A guide to plague control. A Complete Art of Medicine. Joram Duga's Brief Handbook of Fast-Acting Diseases. Understanding Circulation. Ford's Principles of Internal Medicine. 204th edition. Snogular Vlobs. Dr. Crustum goes nowhere without his trusty bag of implements. Dried Pnickies. A muscle relaxant made from the excretions of relaxed muscles. Effing egg powder. It's a jar of bzzz. Pharmaceutical pomegranate powder. Grody fruit powder. Anthelmintic sand. Whew. Can you tell I'm getting tired? Book of 20 Treatises of the Eye. Beyond the Rim, Medicine in the Lands of Dream. So you might ask, why don't I just stop the episode? It's because I have such a sense of wanting to conclude at a natural stopping point. I gotta push myself for a natural stopping point. Also, I would rather have longer videos because that means I get to play more games in a shorter amount of time. A tasty licorice-based stethoscope? No! Nobular Vildegrams. Modacular blurg drink. A purple analgesic. I know that word from the gaming company, Analgesic Games. Analgesic Studios, who made the Anodyne series and some other games. The Book of Pleasure, revised and expanded. The Anatomy of the Saurian Body. Joram Duga's Incomplete Guide to Unknown Diseases. Unknown Diseases. Wonderopolis Medical Dictionary. Actually, I think the Druid family had this book too. The Method of Medicine. The Simple Medicines. Can't click on the feather. Dr. Crustum's graduation photo. We're done with all this stuff over here. A collection of tools you should hope will never be used on you. Not because Dr. Crustum is incompetent, but because he will only perform surgery if he has to. and you don't want to be in the situation where he has to. A doctorate of medicine for the University of Trachea. What is this? Oh, it's a pillow. This is an operating table.
Salam, traveler. How can I help you? I am Crestim, son of Zora, descendant of Toast. I studied the ways of healing in storied Trestia, learned much that has been elsewhere forgotten. Now I work in Sadaka, seeking to expand my knowledge further and helping all that I can.
I cannot think of what voice this guy will have. Probably something a human cannot do. You're a doctor?
Many of us children of the Toast are doctors. Our natural ability to produce penicillin is very useful, of course, and motivates many to take up this calling. But I believe there's more to it. We, who might have been nothing but stale bread, appreciate life more than most do, and thus we seek to preserve it.
Your studies?
Oh, I've studied all the greats. Merivorius on cataracts, Caraflas of Vlachia on baldness, Tyros Scractus on anatomy, you name it, I've read it. I love learning, and there's so much to learn, though one should never underestimate the value of practical experience.
What about toast?
A long time ago, there was a piece of toast that was left lying around for too long. As is usual, it quickly became moldy, but it was not thrown away. Instead, through forgetfulness or fate, it was allowed to grow, to evolve, until the toast became sentient. Since then, it has traveled the worlds, leaving behind its offspring wherever it goes. I am a 9th generation toast. Both my parents were 8th generation toasts, though it said my great-grandfather was a moldy baguette.
I feel like I've heard that phrase before. Is this a reference? What about this place?
I love it here. Well, I know there are many problems, but I'm simply a born optimist. As long as there's life, there's hope. And life, as my own example shows, can grow anywhere.
You have an arterial cleaning device?
An arterial cleaning device for an enormous artificial organism? Oh, wow. I'll have to think about it, but yes. Well, there's a guardian spirit. Well, I think it can be done, but it'll require something rather extraordinary, namely the tooth of a dragon. Nothing else is sharp enough and yet chemically harmless. To attach the tooth to something your fishy friend can hold with his mouth, I'll also need special glue, the recipe for which I can give you straight away. If you bring me these ingredients, I'll make the tool for free.
Why, thank you. I have only tokens as coins, which I think I want to keep. Alright, so we've got the quests to continue on with the Underhome quest line. What do you know about an eyeball?
Oh, isn't he just the cutest? He was a present from my old friend Dr. Shellfish. Did you know some people think eyeball plants are hideous? I think they're soulful.
Know anything about the murder?
I am not generally in favor of violence, but I knew Hashima has a splendid individual with an interest in medicine and politics. And if I find out who is responsible for the murder, I will not be inclined to kindness. Especially if, as I suspect, the guards have something to do with it. I remain optimistic, however, that the people of Sadaka will know how to react to this information, should this information become available.
Are you suggesting that they're going to
rebel against the military?
Perhaps? Biology.
Biologically speaking, most of us living creatures are far more alike than we are different. Those who reduce complex social behaviors down to individual biological traits, no matter their intent, are straying from the fields of science to the madhouse of dogma. And I like to think that we can get over these crude superstitions and recognize each other as people, not as categories. Those people are actually pretty nice.
Well said from a superorganism, which is the word for a recipe has been updated. So he's not actually, doesn't actually have his own DNA. He is a split off culture of bacteria that has organized in such a way as to form thoughts and intelligence. Alright, I think that was exploring all of the places. Anything for the token? That thing, I thought it might be worth something, but it's just trash. Have it, it's all yours. Alright, so we got one little quest over for the very end. Next time, we will go out into the desert and explore a little more. This world is getting quite a bit bigger than I thought it would be. I don't know. I guess the first time I played, when I just got out of Underhome and the Isle of the Moon, I kind of felt like I was almost done with the game for some reason. Yeah, it's a lot bigger than I thought, and that's cool. I have not saved this whole entire time, so let's get that down. Is it... Okay. To make sure it actually worked. Kind of froze for a second. Alright, so that's it for this episode of The Sea Will Claim Everything. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of this game and other awesome games. I'll see you next time. Bye!